everybody. Hope you guys are doing really well. Happy Wednesday. We made it to another week, thank God. It's always great to see you guys. You guys are out of control. I really look forward to seeing you. So, hey, what's up, John? Good to see you. How's everything, sir? So glad to see you. How are you feeling? How's everything going? So, this is yet another live stream. This is part 5 of probably a 6-part. Hey Wendy, how you doing? Good to see you. So glad you were here. So today is John is living the dream. I like hearing that. That's what we are doing, right? We're living the dream. We are doing the best what we have, and we are cultivating our talents, and that's all you can do, right? Be better than you were yesterday. That's all we need to really concentrate and, take care of each other out there, inspire each other, that sort of thing. So right here, I'm in my studio. I have my glasses on. I got cologne on. I smell good. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some really good artwork today. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Hey DJ, how's it going? Good to see you, sir. So that's cool. And we have DJ, and we also have Tone. Good to see you. William, John. So we have a nice group so far. So that's really very, very cool. So let me go ahead before I do that. I'm just going to make sure that my TV is working. Let's see. So I'll show you my plate of what I go through. So there's my TV. So what I have to do is get that thing working. So I'll just go back. YouTube is unavailable. Wow, that's weird. Okay, so let's go back. This is how I see whether or not the live stream is working correctly. So I look for part 5, and it's not there yet. So give me a quick moment. And we're just going to go back to library, my videos. There it is, part 5. So now you can see over there. See, I can see that everything is working correctly. And it looks like I do need a haircut. But I won't be able to get a haircut for a while, and no one's touching my head unless they're a trained beautician or a hairstylist. Okay, cool. So now we'll go back to our picture, and we should be in good shape. And yes, this is when, the rubber meets the road. We have to make sure we try and stay encouraged and inspired and continue to work and continue to push ourselves to new levels. So that's not easy to do. I know that. So you're in my airbrush, a virtual cut. Yeah, Wendy is a wonderful hairstylist, I heard. So here we have the Extreme Patriot Arrow. We're going to be using that. Now my Extreme Patriot Arrow is totally redone, a lot of modifications. Got rid of that really nasty long trigger that it comes with. Out. Changed the needle. Did a couple of other things. So definitely, if you're interested in getting one of these, let me know, and I'll get you 10% off. So how cool is that? So remember, we usually go in with the light mixture when we are working with the airbrush, right? We usually, when we first come in for the first time, we use a light mixture, just get reacclimated. Oh, thank you, DJ. Alberto says that he likes her lips, and that's one of my favorite aspects of this piece too. So I thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. And let's see here. Wendy says I'm the lip master. Only if the lady said that, that would be great, But alas, I am not the lip master when it matters. Although I could be, I just don't get the chance. So Gloria, good to see you. How are you? So cool you're here. So we have a really nice group today, and that's really fantastic. All right, so we loaded our Extreme Patriot Arrow, and we're going to go in with the dark mixture because we're so advanced, So let's go ahead and make that happen. And we are just going to load. Let's see. There we go. You see I have my dark mixture. I'm going to load that. It's medium mixture, forgive me. I'm going to load that into my airbrush. We're only going to be using the medium mixture for a short time because we are going to go dark today, and then we'll be hitting those dark accents. So notice I never ever load my airbrush over my artwork. That would be bad for obvious reasons. So there we are. And okay, and let's see. Now it's time to get busy. Oh, did you hear that? That was money. There's so much money in my studio, it just falls around. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reacclimate myself to the model, get is, you know, really bring it together. There we go, and just like really start getting some nice textures and just get more specific, you know, in certain areas. Yes, Gloria and DJ are married. They're a great couple, very cool people. So, you know, so glad they're here. Remember, when you want to get more detailed and dark, you always go closer to the surface. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Good to see ya. I'm going to work on her teeth just a little bit, just to bring out some of that. Yes, thank goodness, Wendy, that's true. Oh, I'm glad that Mike S. is feeling much better. Hey, Brad, good to see you. How's everything going? So I have some dark roast coffee here, and we'll see how that goes. It's from the Keurig. Ooh, boo, hiss, boo. No, not French press, but Keurig. But I had to make coffee really fast, so that's how that happened. Uh, hey, Steve, how's it going? Good to see you, my friend. And it is getting crazy around here, right, Tone? That's for sure. The Northeast is a lot of weird developments and all of that, and so yeah, I agree. That's okay. So I have the medium mixture, so I'm not going to do too much with the teeth because the teeth pretty much you need the light mixture for that. But what I'm going to do is just start setting up a little bit for that with the light mixture. I did a little bit with the medium mixture, as you can see, but not too much. And let's see, I have the air conditioner going, so if you do hear a little rumbling, it's to keep me from dying of heat stroke. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. See, okay, so it looks like everything's looking good. How does everything look, guys, to you? Sound good, that sort of thing? What do you guys think? Okay. 97 degrees, holy Toledo. That is crazy. That is 97 degrees. That shouldn't even be. They should be arrested. I'm just going to work on some detail here with the medium mixture, just redoing some of the detail areas. And I'm only going to do the medium mixture for a short while before I go into with the dark mixture. What I'm also doing is just basically evening things out, getting the tones much more even. And of course I have my favorite freehand shield. And so who can tell me the number one rule of freehand shields out there? Let's see. Who are my star pupils out there? So there's one big rule when it comes to freehand shields. The reason why I asked, I want this to be drilled inside you. That I want it to be something that is, I don't know, something that, you know, is second hand, you know, that you do automatically. That's what I want. There you go, Brad. Brad definitely is the winner of the Student of the Week award. And yes, perpendicular, not parallel, because if you go parallel, you'll go too far, and that could really ruin your painting day. So it really is for the benefit of your art, the benefit of your painting, to do that. What you gain by going parallel is very marginal, rather than just going perpendicular and never having to deal with that, right? So that is really cool. And so we're going to continue moving around. I'm going to take my glasses off because my eyes just got better automatically. See how that happens? That's pretty amazing. And actually, on a serious thing, my eyes are just reading glasses, but regular, pretty good, I would say, just reading. Reading's important, but as you can see, I'm moving around a little bit, just getting things, you know, how do you say, more fine, more refined. Plenty of time, so it's not like you're doing anything. Oh, so guys, so you guys are going to be happy about this. I am going to start doing color live streams in India Ink. I've been experimenting with the colored India inks, the PH Martins. And what I'm going to do when I do a color India ink. Hey, Sorasid, how's it going? Good to see you. Missed you, my friend. So we have Sorasid. That's good. So haven't seen Sorasid in a while. He's been busy, I'm sure. Glad you're here and well. So what do you guys think? Oh, thanks, Wendy. And Willie, good to see you. Thanks, Wendy and Gloria. So that's cool. So we're going to do now how color is going to work. So how many people are happy with the fact that I'm going to do color? It was a personal reason why I wasn't working in color for a long time, and I was holding out for something personal. But it just, I'm just going to go in. You know, but yeah, I'm going to start working in color again. Now, so good to see you, Steve. So Steve is happy about that, and Gloria, so that's really nice. And so Sorasit, definitely. And so that's great. So how I'm going to work it. When I do a project, when I do a painting on live stream, I'm not going to do the black and white. I'll do the black and white off camera, and then we'll start from the underpainting, working directly into the color. So, oh, well, you know, we can always study independently there, Brad, so I got you covered with the black and white, no worries. Yes, India ink, definitely. It's still India ink. And I'll be mixing just pure, I'll be doing a underpainting with my own inks because I'll always be working with my inks. But And it's not going to be every live stream. It's going to be every once in a while. I'll do a quick one. Color as in ink? Yes, color as in ink. Definitely, Wendy. So the way the inks work, they work. You know, I've been doing some experiments over the last couple of weeks. They, in my opinion, they work the same as a Createx or Golden, and I like to work opaquely. Gloria says, all we do is clean and eat. And Brad says, when you can snatch the pebble from my hand, Grass. So Sorsich says he's stuck in quarantine. It has been reportedly 7,000. I'm so sorry about that, Sorsich. Please stay in and be safe, okay? That would make me very happy. So please stay safe and that sort of thing. So basically, I'm going to still be doing the black and white live streams, but every other project, I'll say so 2 black and white and 1 color. That's how it's going to be from now on. And it's going to be full color, opaque, not transparent. Transparent's the easy way out. We're going to work in the opaque method that I use when I work in Createx and Golden. We're going to be using that method. I think it's much more advanced, and it looks more like an oil painting when you do it that way. So yes, in ink, definitely. Inks are not transparent as long as you add white to them. Remember, everything is transparent unless you add white to it. So once white is added, they become opaque. And transparent is nice, and we'll be using transparent, definitely. But I definitely want to do something totally different and really push you guys, push myself to do something outside of the box. And it's going to be P.H. Martin's India inks, Bombay India inks. These are light fast, they're archival, and it's really great. Just basically mixing with water. Exactly. My white makes things opaque. But the thing is, everyone's afraid of white. But the problem is that if you stay transparent, you'll be missing some of the real interesting flesh tones that you can get. So they're a little bit richer, that sort of thing. It's just my preference. I love when people work in transparency as well. Nothing wrong with that at all. Transparent white. Even white can be even more transparent. The more you spread it out, the more it could be transparent. So inherently white is opaque, but let's say the difference between those of you painters out there. What's the difference? Hey, what's up, Leon? Bill, how's it going? The difference between zinc white. Tell me the difference out there, all you paint guys. Difference between zinc white and titanium white. Go. What's the big difference? Because I would love for you guys to illustrate my point. So, I was trained as an oil painter when I was a kid. Exactly, Wendy. Exactly. Zinc and titanium white is massive, and there's a massive difference between them. Titanium is very opaque, and when you use zinc white, you could use that to glaze a white to make it transparent and opaque. So, and exactly, so the refractive index of zinc white is 5 times more transparent than titanium. Exactly, my point exactly. Thanks, Bill. So that definitely is, to answer Mike's question, white can be transparent. Every color can be transparent. What we're working on right now, titanium is brighter, right? It reflects more light. So good point there, Sourceit, definitely. Um, so we're working in black right now, and it's transparent. So every color can be transparent. Every color can be opaque. It all depends on whether or not you mix the white with them. Also should be noted, zinc white will fade slightly as it dries to exactly. And that's why it's so good when you're actually making things lighter, a lighter color. I would definitely use a zinc white as opposed to a titanium white, which will have a lot more of a blue shift, you know? Exactly. Very good point. Very good. Lead white's against the law. Good luck with that, Wendy. You have to make your own lead white, and you might as well be playing in asbestos or something. So don't do it, Wendy. So pretty soon I'm going to be coming in with the dark mixture, which is pretty cool. Yeah, mixing white. Very interesting, Bill. Yeah, on how to make it. A place you can, I think whoever's selling it is going to go to prison because that stuff is like totally. Could you imagine spraying lead white? Oh my God, that would be poisonous. Ah, very cool. That's good information, Bill. Thank you, sir. So, it's never been I couldn't use color. It has never been the reason why I was working in black and white for a year. Uh, been trained by the best over the years, 8 years of art school, almost blah, blah, blah years of experience. So I don't want to date myself. But I chose not to work in color for a year. And it's been a year, and I'm actually going to start working in color more and more. Uh, you only make that white to give to your friends you hate. Yeah, give them zinc white. Why wouldn't someone want that? What's that? What's that, lead white? I don't think anyone would ever want. That would be bad, right? That's some. So it's good to see you, Willie. How are you over there? You are in Massachusetts or New Hampshire? I believe you're in Massachusetts, right? So that's what happened to John as a child. Yeah, and I was eating the pink chips, in the boiler room at school. That's what happened to me, I guess. So I'm still not quite ready to go in with the dark mixture yet, but pretty good. Glad to hear it. And Brad's wondering why he had 11 toes, and that was probably from, playing with the asbestos insulation in the attic, right? So Bill says, now Tim's got me stirring, ask a question about color. I'm going to go all on and about pigments and crap. No, I appreciate your feedback, sir. Definitely. Lead gasoline, that's like unleaded, right? And leaded. What I want to do while I'm here is I want to give some volume to this elbow here. And let's see. Hey, just like Woody Allen said, everything that was told to us by our parents that was good for us is really bad. Like the sun, meat, and college. So basically, everything that was told to us was good is now bad. Poison. Hey, Rick, good to see you. How's everything going? I'm so glad you're here this Wednesday. Yes, real lead pencils. Mike says only missed with lead white as a little kid. His brain feels fine. That's funny. So how's everything there, Rick? Good to see you, my friend. So I'm basically setting up to do some really nice modeling of the form of her elbow and everything. And when we come in with the dark mixture, things will. Sun is good for me. Well, not for me. I would just like cook like a lobster. It would be horrible. So I have Irish skin, so we don't burn. We catch fire almost, right, Tone? So you're blessed with nice pigmentation, and you're able to go to the beach and live. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. So that's pretty cool. So Brad says he put a lot more dangerous crap in his body than lead, and Bill says I used lead soldering back in the day and lead melting and pouring. Oh man, that's not good. Wendy, let me see. Willie says when he was a kid, he made lead sinkers for fishing. That may be why. Oh man, I guess I used lead sinkers. Weren't they all lead when we were kids? Those little metal things, right? And lead pencils. We had real lead pencils. As you can see, I'm moving around a lot. Sort of ADD sort of way of painting today. But this is the time where I just move around a lot, assess the different values, getting ready for the dark mixture, right? It was lead, right? And I used to fish all the time in the Hackensack River. We used to fish for and carp and catfish. We used to get sunnies. We weren't too happy about that. Those sunfish. Yes, a lead foot. Steve has a lead foot. And as you can see, we're just get the lead out, right? Okay, so right here, you can see we can darken this area. So let's be a little bit of a nice distance away. I'd say about 4 inches. And I'm just going to slightly, remember, the further you're away, the more gradated the color is going to be. So one of the things I learned from just doing airbrushing in black and white for a year, I'm going to tell you this. Most important thing in airbrushing in color is dilution. Make it feel like ink, milk, or anything like that. As ink flows through your airbrush, so should your paint. As you have your air pressure and your MAC valve, so should you with paint. If you remember that, the top guys are not going to tell you about dilution. I'm sorry. Unless you take their classes. So I'm telling you, even though you're not taking my classes, dilution, dilution, dilution. So really make that cadmium red. That stuff is poison. And original Naples yellow is pretty bad for you. Now they have Naples yellow hue, or so many weird things, right? That were very any cadmium is a hard metal that really gets on your skin. It's going to stay in your body. So we artists have really dealt with some toxic. How about when people use fixative around you in a little room? Oh my God, so horrible. Yes, Gloria, these lead poisonings are really scary. Wendy has watercolors with warnings on them, and that's, oh wow, and she wears her paint. That's not good, definitely. Thin to win, that's exactly it. See, Steve knows, and it's like the thin, 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 thin. Thin it out until it gets to the point where it doesn't paint correctly. And that's when you are going to, yes, good vibes, Gloria, that's for sure. Uh, Thin things out all the way until it gets to the point where you can't thin it out any longer. So that is crucial. So I'm going to get rid of the writing that says Tim's live stream starts at 9:30. What do you think? You think it's a good idea to get rid of that one? But I'm not going to get rid of the one that says, you know, schedule a class with me, because I'm going to start teaching black and white. But if you took my black and white course, you would be eligible for my color course. So that's pretty exciting. So that's something I'm rolling out this week. So that's pretty cool. So if you did take my black and white course, you will be ready for my color course. Because if you haven't taken my black and white course, I wouldn't be able to teach you the underpainting that needs to be done before. You know, now one of the things when I do an underpainting for a painting, for a color painting, I won't do it this dark. I will make sure that it's about 2 stops lighter than everything. This way, when we put color over it, we get at the right value. If I was going to have the values correct and then go color over it, what's going to happen is your values will go too light. Too dark, I should say. But I can't teach you that unless you take my class for the watercolor. For the India ink. Now I still am not. I'm not going against my whole thing that just doing black and white is sufficient. It is, and as you see, I did a whole year of just doing black and white quite successfully. And that's what I want you to do. I want you guys to work in black and white. Continue getting better in black and white, because when you work in black and white, you help your color. But when you work in color, you're not helping your black and white. So Bill says, so you're doing a grisaille underpainting, leaving room for color, increased value. Exactly. That's how the old masters did it. Angra, David. I was privy to go to the Met throughout the years and see their grisailles. And one thing I noticed is that they're 1 or 2 stops lighter for that. Now, Brad says, will I still be using Canson 184 pound for the color portraits? No, we are going to go to Masonite. And that's going to be a little bit different. We're going to add ability to do scratching techniques and stuff like that when we work in color. Very exciting. And then varnish on top of that. So it's going to look really fantastic. Thanks. Thank you so much, John. Steve, I appreciate that. Then we have, so let's see here. So the grisaille is really, really important. And the values are really fantastic. And in the sense that if you know, okay, so this was something I was teaching my current student, Phil. There's 5 things you want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with you because I think you guys are the cat's pajamas, and I'm going to share it with you. Now the question is, what did I do with it? Okay, so I'm just going to tell you because I had it written down. First thing is contour and line. You have the contour and line correct. That's your first thing you have to worry about. Contour the line. Second thing you have to worry about is shapes. Get the inside shapes and all the different pieces of the puzzle. Get those correct. Then once you do that, and feel free to write this down or write it down when you hear it again, then you want to get the value. Once you get the value, then you want to go ahead and get the edge. The edges of the adjacent shapes next to each other and how are they interacting. That is the next one. Now here's one that's even more advanced, and I want you guys to do, is the details within those value shapes. That's the final thing. So those are things that, you know, if you're not doing that in black and white, you're not learning how to do that black and white, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to do that by working in color. So that's why I would suggest at least 60% of your work should be in black and white, even if you work in color, because that's going to help your painting. If you're working in painting, it's not going to help your values. And I think one will definitely reinforce the other. Uh, Wendy says, no wonder men don't live as long as women. I think that's true. Uh, and Mike says, see guys like playing with shiny silver liquids. Oh my God, you got mercury and cadmium. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. So 60% black and white to 40% color seems like a good ratio to me. And that's just my opinion. And that's what helps me to become a better artist, to be more prolific, you know, to produce more, have better control with the airbrush. In the last year, I've gained so much control with the airbrush, and which is really important, just crucial, because if you can't control this thing, it doesn't matter how good you are. You have to have total control of the airbrush. It has to do exactly what you want to do when you want to do it. You don't want to be struggling with viscosity and airflow and stuff like that. Yeah, when working, you're still going. Gloria said she's laughing to tears. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, those horrible toxic fumes. I remember in art school, one time somebody was spraying fixative in the hallway at the academy, the National Academy School of Fine Arts where I studied. And oh my God, it was like, it cleared out the whole place. Those fumes, what we lived through, right? And okay, so Steve said, just like a woman, Tim. So Steve, now what are you referring to? Someone spraying the fixative, Steve? That's funny. Uh, yes, exactly, Gloria. That was really scary. Bill is interesting, that's true. Oh, wow. So you had some really serious things to deal with. What makes me laugh when you're at the dentist and they're doing x-rays on you and they say it's okay, yet they run behind a room. They run behind this big metal door, right? So that doesn't make me feel too good when I go to the dentist. So, oh, it's no problem. You're going to be okay. Just wait here. Okay, so pretty soon we're going to go with the white mixture, but before we do that, you know what time it is. It's time for the dark mixture. Wouldn't it be good to have like Darth Vader music when this is happening, you know? Something like that, maybe I'll do that whenever we go with the dark mixture, we got to have like uh, very serious music going on that I'm not going to get flagged for copyright infringement. Okay, dark mixture. Here we go. Dun dun dun. So, dark mixture. There it is. Stream close up. Let me see. Right here. Stream close up. Dark mixture. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Let's make sure we make this happen. Oh, okay. So my India ink mixtures, my airbrush inks, I just want to say right now, don't drink them, okay? Oh yes, exactly. Very true. But the thing is, Steve, I could eventually master the airbrush, and women are just a total. I wish there was a book on women. I would read it. I would remember every page, and I would be just fine. But that is a mystery that has befuddled man since the beginning of time. Okay. Oh, cool. So let's go ahead and let's work on the darks here. We're going to work on her eye. So let's go ahead and move this down there. There you go. So definitely, uh, I would still be wrong. It's so true, John. And then, like, I don't know. It's just very, very hard for me. I'm a pretty smart guy, I would say, once in a while. I would like to think I'm pretty smart. But when it comes to women of the opposite sex, I am not good. Is there a book on women at Amazon, Wendy? Is that what you're saying? Just send me the link. Just, understanding women. Anyone know if that is out there? Oh, so John bought the 24 different Bombay color India inks. Perfect. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in the live stream on. So that's going to be great, John. So you'll be able to follow, and we'll go in with the color. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the painting, the black and white off camera. So we're just going to come straight in. Otherwise, it'll be a long, long project. Uh, yes, get them all, Brad. Definitely. Because they comes with a black and white, which you're going to need anyway, and some of the colors you're going to need them eventually. Maybe not right away. Uh, so Wendy says there's a book. Yes, men are easy, women are complicated. Well, not complicated, because that got me in trouble once in the past. Women are complex. That's much better, right, guys? See, I at least learned something in my years on this earth. Women are complex, not complicated. See, this way I don't get in trouble. well, well, that's because I think women are wonderful, and just that's why I want to know. If I didn't, I wouldn't even worry, right? So Wendy's going to explain it to us. You can mix those inks. Yes, definitely. You have to. Mix them just as we would do Createx. More like a pita. I did go parallel. Okay. See, that sometimes I will do it. I have to be more conscious than if I do go parallel. Then it's really me not focusing as much as I should. So right now with the dark mixture, and what I'm doing is just moving around a lot and just bringing it all together. Oh my goodness, look at that. Willie says pain in the beep. So Bill says he had a heat unit installed finally Sunday, outdoor unit, so they delivered it to the yard on Friday. His wife asked if it would be okay outside like that, and he said they live outside. That's right. So that's good. So definitely call me on that, guys, if you see me not practicing what I'm preaching. Because perpendicular is definitely better than parallel, 99.9% of the time. Terracotta, oh yes, the terracotta color is really thick. So what I really recommend you do is really dilute that stuff a lot. I mean a lot. And shake it up and make sure that it is totally dissolved before you go ahead and, you know, mix that with in your airbrush. So some of them come out really thick, so definitely that would be a case in point where you would definitely want to definitely want to you know, dilute that really a lot. So with the thinking of using any India ink or any paint is you want it with the consistency of India ink like we use in my ink mixtures. And you see I'm just crawling along the surface there. Now that's a relative soft edge there. And then right here we have, I would say it's a harder edge. So let's go ahead and hit that. There we go, nice hard edge. So Wendy, it was definitely the lead that did it, huh? So we can always blame lead if anything happens, you know. Sorry, lead. I didn't take the garbage out. Lead, you know. So that's a good idea. I like that. There we go. Wendy says that she looks better in the photo. That is very kind to you, Wendy. Thank you so much. I'm trying, you know, trying my hardest to give you guys a really good project. Just want to deepen this color, this value a lot. Give her some real strength. Here we have a nice hard edge. Let's go ahead and make this happen. See, I want to reinforce some hard edges here. That's very important. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. She's coming along slowly, right? Getting that hard edge. And sometimes you get lucky and you find it perfect with the freehand shield. Sometimes. And then right here we have a little deeper dark. Nice and soft. But this is how I want you to work when you're working in color, is to basically always get the consistency of the inks that you use with me. So if anyone asks, you know, what's the consistency or how do I get the flow, I would say take my class and or purchase my inks and you'll know exactly what the right consistency is. Oh, thank you. Wendy says I'm fast. I appreciate it. I'm a lot faster than in the live streams. That's why I'm definitely going to do the Kasai off camera. Just deepening her tone a little bit. And let's deepen this dark right here on this side. And what this is going to do is two things. It's going to clean up and give me more room, more wiggle room to move around in the mid-tones, and then give more power to the highlights and the lights when they come. And I'm pulling along the surface. Just make sure that you go ahead and see, if I don't go parallel here, if I don't go perpendicular here and I go parallel, I'm in danger of coming over. And you can see a little bit still happened, but it would be far less if I was to do that with parallel. So perpendicular is always better. And okay, so let's go ahead and reinforce this line here with the dark mixture. So, so you guys out there, are you guys working on any airbrush paintings or anything like that currently? Now, what's interesting about this particular piece, guys, is that it is, this particular piece is a mostly dark color. So, and we didn't use any frisket, so it is a kind of a muted look, you know. Oh, so Wendy's at her mom's are only watercolors. So, so Wendy's doing watercolors. Bill is doing uh, dogs, of course. His wonderful dog portraits, and Bill is painting a dog as well. So that's really cool. Customer's happy. Said magnificent. Oh, magnificent. That's all. Happy customer is always the best, right, Bill? So I can see why your customer is happy. Oh, so Brad started building cabinets for the studio. So I saw a picture of the cabinets. I mean, not the cabinets, but the studio so far at Brad's. You know, true pictures, and they just look absolutely amazing. This is just a really beautiful studio. So that's going to be good. So looking forward to that. Got two more pets to do. Then I'm out of commissions. That's almost like out of commission, right? That's funny. So you'll have more. But the thing is, if I'm going to do, I'll still be reasonable with my black and white portraits, but if they want color, they're going to pay through the nose. And let's go ahead and darken this area here. Just, you know, what I'm doing now is just bringing everything much darker. So one of the things I always say to my students and also people on YouTube that ask me questions, you know, for advice, notice this is actually what? This is part 5. So we were working for like how many hours? Like 9 hours before I came in with the dark mixture. So think about it, 9 hours before you go as dark as you need to go. So that's so important. Not necessarily, I'm saying just, you know, so if I'm usually doing, let's say, 14 hours and it isn't until hour number 9, I'm coming in with color. So that basically is a ratio, you know. You definitely don't want to go dark too early because you're going to have nowhere to go, you know. Dogs are pretty cool. And Willie says, Tim, just think 100 years from now when people are studying your work, people will have YouTube videos to watch. And if they read the comments, they will... So true. That is funny. That's why I keep the comments up there, Willie, you know, to see the colorful, my colorful ink flingers, you know. That we were not only artists, but cool people, right? So that's pretty neat. Oh no, your cat's not feeling well, Wendy? I'm so sorry. Oh, that's so. I really hate it when animals don't feel good. That makes me so sad. And I'm just going to darken up this area. So as you see, as I'm darkening up areas, it's sort of lightening her up. So pretty soon we're going to come in with the light mixture again to work on her teeth. And then we will be ready. Actually, this is kind of a soft edge, so I'm not going to use a freehand shield. This whole area right here is soft. Oh yeah, Leonardo, right? I was reading about how Raphael, also famous Renaissance painter, one of the, not to be mistaken with the, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, uh, was heavily influenced by Leonardo and was a rival of Michelangelo. So, you know, poor kitties. Be careful not to go too wet. See, I increase my distance, which is really good. And let's go into this area right here. The more you paint, guys, the more your aim is going to be really good. Just like any job. I mean, it's more of a technical thing. It's not an innate ability. The fact is that the more you airbrush, the better you'll get. Now, I'm not saying that you'll get better as far as your technique of portraying, the three-dimensional world. That comes with time. But control with the airbrush, anyone can do it. Anyone, and it just takes time. It's just motor skills. And I don't think that's a talent thing. I think that's just a practice thing. So Tim says, answer Brad's question. I didn't see it. Let me see. What was your question, Brad? So with a black and white underpainting, would you leave it lighter in order to add color? Exactly, Brad. See, the thing is, so let's say if I add color onto these values, which are pretty close to what I'm doing, just by adding another layer of color, you're going to be darkening it because less light is going to be showing from behind. So that means I'm going to make things too dark. So what I want to do, if I'm setting this up to go over in color, I'm going to make the values about 2 stops on a camera lighter. So this way, when I go darker, I am actually going to nail the value. I'm going to sort of arrive at the value, which is very important. Very, very true. And so, yeah, so that is really important. I did mention that earlier. So that is something very important about underpaintings or grisaille. Grisaille is French. There's other, even if, the Venetians, like Veronese, Tintoretto, Titian, the Venetians in the 15 and 1600s in Venice, they would use a Venetian red underpainting or a red underpainting. And the same thing applies, is that you would do it lighter than the final value. However, the Venetians would do red because when they were working with figures, they felt, and it was very true, that the red would show underneath the glazes of both transparent and opaque paint that would create more of a feeling of flesh. So, Steve says, any one of those dealt with a woman, Tim. So basically, this is how I do it. So let's say you are painting this, right? So in the beginning, my reference, I will go into Photoshop or whatever photo manipulation software you have, and I'll lighten this to about 2 stops lighter. So once you do that, that's the reference I'm working from. So I'm going to arrive 2 steps lighter. Where things are black, like dark, dark black, I'll go in and I'll actually arrive at that value. Like maybe here, it doesn't matter. It's dark. You can't get any darker than black. I'll go ahead and put those in there. But as far as these values, would all be much lighter because I want to arrive there. Very good question and very important when doing Versailles. I've done Versailles for many, many years. I'm back in the 80s, I was working in Versailles. My teacher, Harvey Dinnerstein, didn't teach about Versailles, but I love the work of Ingres, Jacques-Louis David, the 19th century French painters. So I would do a lot of research in Versailles. And so that was the, and when I was working in oil paintings, and then when I started doing pastel, I found a way to use Versailles and pastel, and now when I'm doing airbrush, I'm still doing Versailles. Why Versailles, right? Here's the question, why Versailles? Because when you're doing a painting, it's all these really hard things. You have to do the drawing correctly, you have to do the values correctly, and then you do the color correctly. Well, the 19th century French academic painters said, well, why don't we break them down into their simple elements so this way we can put them together and still arrive at a wonderful painting. So you do your drawing, careful drawing, then you do your underpainting, and then you break it down into 3 elements that are, more attainable. Doing all 3 at once is really no reason, but there's no reason that you have to, as long as you arrive at where you want to be. So that's why it's important for me to teach that, which is very, very important. So now Tone says, would you have a black and white reference along with a, definitely. So whenever I'm working in, let me see if I could show you guys, I'm going to show you something digital, okay? Let's do that together. So I'm going to go here, and here is Carolina, right? So let me go to this screen over here. And I'm going to go to Krita. So here is the painting I'm currently working on in Krita. This is a digital painting, of course. But as you can see, if I hit the tab button, so this is the black and white that I'm doing the reference for. This is actually a color painting, so the color painting is separate. So I'm working in black and white first, and you notice everything's much lighter. And this is the digital painting, and then I'm going to come in with color afterwards. So you can actually see this in progress. So I took the color, made it black and white, and now I'm actually working a lot lighter than here. So now that I'm working in color, I'm working in color everything. Color in my digital painting, my pastels, my airbrush, but definitely Versailles is definitely the way to go without a doubt. So I hope that helps, guys. Let's go back. And Tone says that how he does it, very cool. And Wendy says I do it correctly, thank you. And so that's basically the route to go, So I'm just going to continue a little bit more with some of the darker accents before I go in with the, you can even turn a black and white pick into color very easily, but that's, yeah, you can use color from different reference. People do that, but I tend to see that when that happens, it, comes out flat, But yeah, you definitely can. What I like to do is use a similar photo, similar lighting. So John says he's calling it a night. All right, John, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Stay safe. It's always good to see you, my friend. Continue doing that great work. And I'm going to leave this up so you can see part 5 in its entirety. Go into my YouTube channel as always, John. And you see how she's coming together just by doing those darks? Things are really starting to enrich. So, alright, so now I think we could begin going back to the light mixture and working on her teeth a little bit. And also maybe enriching some of these mid-tones, you know. So let me go ahead. Okay, so this is an important thing when working in my India ink mixtures, is that when you are going from a dark mixture to a light mixture, you really have to clean that airbrush out. So what we're going to do is make sure we rinse out with some water, and then yes, Girl in the Box, definitely. And I had a whole dollar bill series, which did really well. They all sold. Um, Actually, one ended up in a millionaire's house in Florida. Another one ended in a millionaire's house in Sweden, which in turn found out that that painting sold at an auction in Europe somewhere. So I'm not sure what the second one is. So yeah, the dollar bill paintings were quite successful. Yes, that's going to come, definitely. We're going to do the white highlights before the end of this. So I definitely won't disappoint you there, Steve. Mike says, Tim, how many hours in a day do you do digital airbrush drawing and by hand? I do a lot of my digital stuff totally by hand. I would say I do about an hour a day digital, about 5 to 6 hours in airbrush, and I would say about 2 hours in pastel. So right now I'm pretty much being a Renaissance man when it comes to different mediums. Only because I'm starting to do work in pastel. It brings the painting alive. Yes, the white pastel really does with this technique, Wendy, that's for sure. Most of the ones I've known taken the dollar would have taken. Oh my God, I am not going to comment on that, and the grounds that I could die. So let's go to the light mixture here. Light mixture. Extreme close up. Light mixture. Whoa, light mixture. See that? Okay. And over here. Look how fast we can just load that light mixture. So the extreme close-ups are a new element of the live streams. I know they're very exciting, and I know you guys just love that. And there we are back. And G-string. Oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, about 9 to 10 hours definitely altogether, and then another 4 hours thinking about all of that stuff. Okay, so test out the light mixture. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on her beautiful teeth, her beautiful smile. So let's make this happen. Let's get busy. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay. Extreme Patriots, right? And so how many out there own an Extreme Patriot arrow? Just for my own edification. The Extreme Patriot arrow. Now the Extreme Patriot's great too. It just has a bigger cup. So we can go with just Extreme Patriot, whether it's an arrow or... So Brad has, Brad has several. And then Willie has 2. And then Wendy has 1. So it's nice. I mean, I'm really happy because I believe in that airbrush, and I know it's going to make your lives a lot easier. And it's only $100, so bam. I mean, how can we go wrong with that? So Bill says he does spurts of 10 to 12 hour paintings, but on other days 3 to 4. And well, the last couple of days, mostly definitely been a couple of, well, yeah, you had some things you were dealing with your grandbaby. So I can understand that for sure. So Mike has an extreme arrow, so cool. And Steve Johnson, the Sidewinder, which is this with a side feed. The question I have for you, and when you get that, I want to know how stable that is. One of the reasons why I don't use side feeds, now I work in my other studio, I go vertically, no problem, right? But here I go horizontal, right? Now when I work horizontal, flat, the side feed is very finicky. I had the side feed open up and ruin paintings, loosen up. So I would definitely want to know how you feel about that when you do get it. And if you can, put it through the test and really, not on a painting that you love or you're doing as a commission, but just test it out and let me know. That's a real complaint for side feeds. That's why you no longer see a side feed in my arsenal except for one right now. I have the Omni, which is really beautiful. The Omni 6000, I love that airbrush. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Side feeds are easy to clean, I'll give you that. But the easiest to clean is my Sotar Slim, right? So how many people out there own a Slim, which is another great airbrush? The only problem is it just takes so darn long to keep filling it up, you know? So Tone loves his side feed, but Tone, you work vertical, is that correct? You do work vertical, because I have seen you work. And never rush it, guys. Always take your time. Oh, the Vega is a great airbrush, yes. The Omni 2000 is a bottom feed, but the cup goes to the side. I see. I have, yes, Mike has an amazing, amazing Frankenstein airbrush, which I love. So Wendy owns the Slim, and she's very good at it. I love how you work the Slim there, Wendy. You are fantastic. So Wendy and Wendy's taking a class with me, and we're going to work on a painting pretty soon of Audrey Hepburn, which is, so you're also waiting for the Sotar. Is the Sotar Slim? Because that's a highly better airbrush than the 2020, the regular Sotar. Just really much better. I see people get the regular Sotar, and I'm like, oh, get the Slim, please. You're going to like it much better. Yes, Willie says he has an airbrush problem. I do as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the... We're going to wait a little bit for the white pastel with the teeth, but we're just going to erase just a little bit. There we go, this beautiful young lady. And let's deepen the dark of the upper lip. Brad says he's powerless over his airbrush, and my life is unmanageable. Bill has about 20. I sold a whole bunch a couple of weeks ago, remember, guys? Airbrush Anonymous. Yeah, Wendy, the Slim is fantastic. Now, Wendy had some technical difficulties with her Patriot. It looks like they sort of a build manufacturing issue, but they're going to fix it. And so that's a good thing. So that's kind of sad that happened. So like I said, I'm going to darken this upper lip here. I'm setting up for the light mixture. And as you can see, once I darkened all of that, I can actually start enriching some of those midtones, right? So so Bill sold 1, gave 6 away. Mike S says, Willie, you're not alone in there. That's true. So I sold all of my microns. I sold my Highline, and I also sold my side feed Eclipse. Now one good thing I have to give our friends over at Iwata, and I don't give them too many compliments, but they do have a really good resale value. Now, everyone knows I baby my airbrush. Look how clean it is. It's just so beautiful. Look at this 105, which I really like. So here's something, a quick side note I think you guys would do happy with. Here is the 105 Arrow, and what I did was I took the head assembly of the Patriot and put that on there, and then I went ahead and have the .20, 0.21 needle nozzle combination, and now this thing is so darn beautiful. So definitely highly recommend that. 80 bucks and you have yourself a really nice airbrush. So definitely, I like the way it looks too, the silver, you know, so that's something to think about. Now, I know that Brad got one of them, so I'm excited to see what he thinks once we get that thing going. Threw one in the trash, but I probably shouldn't say which one. Uh-oh. Okay. But yeah, you know, my initial favorite airbrush in the world was the Sotar Slim, which I still love and I still use today because it feels like a pencil, which is just fantastic, right? But I now is the Extreme Patriot with my modifications. Everyone who has used them have been very happy, so I know I'm on the right track with that. But the Sotar Slim is a really great second airbrush. Mike S says, took a Legend 100 side feed, put the first generation Sotar head on it, inners rebuilt kit, high roller trigger, and back handle setup, .20. It's really beautiful. Yeah, that's a nice airbrush. Now I can lighten this up over here. So remember, when you're erasing, guys, you always want to go ahead and try and use the least aggressive eraser. So you want to progressively get aggressive. So what I'll do is I'll just go to my next aggressive eraser and just lighten things up. So Bill says he had a 100 Badger around here somewhere, paid 20 bucks from it from a nail tech. So it might have been, you know, misused and everything and abused before you got it, huh, Bill? And that happens. That could really kill an airbrush if it's, you know, used and abused before you got it. Now I have a 100 here, which I use a lot. Where is my... This one I use exclusively for the white in the beginning of my paintings. So this is... now the 100 is definitely a double action, Willie. So it's just a beautiful airbrush. And like anything else, I think the older airbrushes, progressively aggressive, that is so true, Brad. Like anything else, the 100, you have to tame it a little bit more than, let's say, the Extreme. But you can get great control out of this bad boy. So definitely. But yeah, it's if they're treated badly and for a long time and then we get them, that could really cause some issues. And it can even get ruined, right? Right, Bill? That could happen. I'm going to try and deepen some of these midtones. So right now we're at 1050. We're making good time. I'm just deepening some of these midtones right now. So how do you think the way she's looking, guys? I mean, are you Are you happy with it? Ooh, here's a place where we can be real sneaky with a freehand shield here. Just to really accentuate her eyeball. So cute. Such a cute lid. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you, Willie, and thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. So you guys sticking with me all these weeks, and that means a lot to me. And let's go ahead and accentuate that eyeball coming out. See that? How we can do that? Makes it more sultry too, you know. eBay can be a crapshoot sometimes. You always got to look at those ratings, you know. I've been a seller on eBay since 1999. So that means I was like 10 years old. Huh. Not right. I'm not that young, but that would have been cool. So we are just before we're gonna, I say in the last 20 minutes, we're going to come in with the white. But right now we're just going to work on the modeling of the forms and really start to make things turn. See how we're coming in with that medium mixture and also fixing some areas that might be off. Like that. Now this photo is actually from a video that I did find, and it's a still from a video, and I just loved it, and it is pretty poor condition as far as lights and darks, but to me that was my challenge, was to pick an image that isn't necessarily perfect, quote unquote, and to really challenge myself to make a painting out of something that most people really know she hasn't sold yet. I hope I sell her. She'll be done in 2 weeks, so yeah, haven't sold her yet. But she is a companion piece to another one, so one of my other pieces. So I'm going to start doing that as well, just doing artwork that is, how do you say, not what most people would do. Just taking some bad photos and working with them and being close to, using them to still make good artwork out of. My guest says, you make sure the seller has at least 98% or higher. Good point. Will says, I think 2000 is not that long ago. No, that's right. So that means I definitely wasn't 10. And Wendy says she usually purchases with 100 feedback. That's always a good rule of thumb. Okay, so we're going to go in with the light mixture now. Not with the light mixture, but with the white pastel. Dun, dun, dun. And extreme close-up to the white pastel. Whoa, look at that extreme close-up. See that? That tell you the white pastel I'm using. Focus. Focus. It did focus a second ago, right? Look at that. Whoa. The extreme close-ups are really a wonderful new addition to the live streams, and I know you guys are loving them. So, okay, so we are back. Pit Pastel, that is the one, and we're going to use sandpaper. Now, this is a very special sandpaper I purchased from the dollar store, and this is 60 grit. So, there we go. So what you want to do is you want to get a grit where you can deposit some pastel and take one of your... Hey, what's up, Todd? Good to see ya. Wendy loves the close-ups. This is Steve's favorite time, so I am glad to help him out. Now I'm not going to do the highlights just yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lightening things up. And remember, you can spread it out to adjust the amount of white that you're putting in. So, and what we're going to be doing is working on some of these larger areas. And you see it starts to smooth out some of these values, which are really cool. So we're going to take our time, and we are going to make sure that we stick with the program and not go outside of our philosophy, right? So this is where things start looking like her. You get your likeness at this stage. You don't care about your likeness. You shouldn't care about your likeness until we get here. So my guest said he bought a Badger Spirit side feed from a hawk shop on eBay. It was like brand new for I think $60 and free shipping. That's pretty good. Spirit, is that now? Which is that part of the like the Renegade, that sort of one, that group of airbrushes? The Velocity, the Renegade. Wendy says, I'm going to make her jump off the page. That would be nice. You guys ever hear the story of Pygmalion and Galatea? Or Galatea? Mike says, I hope she has her top on where we can see her now. So you see I can be pretty quick with the white pastel and just move around. And you see right now the lighter values are really going to accentuate those midtones and really deepen those darks. So just a lot of things are going on right now. And we can even, you know, go ahead and sort of sculpt her nostril there. There's a lot of good things happen at this stage. Oh, the Renegade series in the box, complete like new. I see. Very cool. So Wendy says it would scare her half to death. I can understand that. So Pygmalion Galatea he was a sculptor, and he created something so beautiful, and he fell in love with it, and the gods granted him to have her come to life. And a lot of paintings like Jean-Leon Jerome, Edward Burne-Jones, throughout history, artists have been painting Pygmalion and Galatea. So I really love the, you know, a lot of the, you know, the Badger airbrushes are really great. I have my favorites, but like I said earlier, some of them you really have to get a handle on them. They're not all, you know, so easy right out of the, you know, right out of the mailbox. So what I'm doing with the white is I can actually go ahead and smooth out her skin over here where there's no texture, and texture happened through the airbrush. I'm actually getting rid of that. So I'm really starting to get like really happy here, you know, it's really coming together. And I'm going to just put a little highlight here. And you see that? Now she's getting sultry. I like sultry. See that? Now here she's coming. She came off the page and she jumped off the page. That's funny. When this thing is over, I'm going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I'm just going to stare at my favorite paintings and I am going to go there from, they open at 9 o'clock, and I'm not going to leave until 8 o'clock when it closes. That's what I'm going to do when this thing's over, guys. Nothing to do with her top. Wendy says. So I really love the way that the white is just really handling on this color line paper. Now, pressure, you know, like pressure, when you add the pressure onto the, you put the pressure with the airbrush, you know, or distance, you get lighter and darker. So just an amount of pressure will put a lot less white, or more pressure, you put more white. So keep that in mind. Learning digital art really helps my regular physical art. So definitely recommend going into digital art. You won't be sorry. You're going to love it. You're going to love the freedom and not having to deal with any kind of texture issues. It's just going to open your mind and open up so many different things for you. So I'm going to be doing more and more videos on digital, so I really hope that you guys pick it up. Oh, look at that. Bill would have gone top shirtless for you. Uh-oh. Then we would see the gun show. Is that right, Bill? That's what's going to happen? Time for the gun show? This would be our burlesque portion of our live stream. So you see what's wonderful with the light mixture, especially in large areas like this. I'm able to really smooth out some of those values. And I just love it, guys. I just am really very, very happy about it. Okay, remember in a past episode we worked on the white, and you know, you can never get white with a hard pastel such as the Pick Pastel, but if you wanted to do just a little bit, this is like a this would probably be your schmink or something like that, white, so it's a very soft pastel. So watch this, guys. You're gonna love it. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful. That is such a beautiful light, isn't it? And then we'll just do that again here. See that? Wow, so that really comes out. So Steve says, yes, it's all about the tooth of the paper, and that's so important. And so that is really crucial, and the whole painting is about economy of the paper, because if that is not, if we're not paying attention to it, that will come back to haunt us in the worst way possible. So yes, and then even that, just setting up that white pastel at the end is really all part of it. Definitely, it's all about the light, but also, you know, setting up for the final attack. Just like in chess, you know, you got to develop the pieces before you come in and, you know, attack their king. So that's basically what you do. You don't bring your queen out too early. You don't work in your lights, your highlights too early, or your darkest dark too early. You develop everything, then you come out with the darkest dark, which be your, you know, your rooks and your bishops, and then your queen would be the white. Now, what's interesting is about the tooth, which is the amount of texture on the paper, Brad, and with the amount of texture on the paper is how many layers you can put down. Now, if you erase too much, and I know we worked on a project together because Brad took my class, great student, and we had a problem with texture with the tooth of the paper, but we resolved that by using 1000 grit sandpaper. But you can see how it's so crucial. Luis, how you doing? Luis Soreto, how's everything? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Brad and Luis says she looks like a black and white paper, so a black and white photograph. I appreciate that. You know, we're trying to get that realism, and you know, we'll get there, right, Luis? And so that's what we're doing. And so the white right now is really just smoothing things out and bringing things. Mr. Valenti, how you doing, my friend Thomas Valenti? Now, guys, this is important. Thomas Valenti was the president of the Allied Artists of America, a very distinguished artist. This guy does watercolor landscapes like you wouldn't believe. So we have a celebrity here in our midst. If you get a chance, look up Thomas Valenti and his watercolors. You will not be disappointed. One of my favorite watercolor painters ever. Wendy, you should check out his work. It's just amazing. So Thomas, how's everything? How you doing, my friend? And he had a full article in American Artist Magazine, which was very cool and well deserved. And Tom, we exhibited together many times in many group shows, and a good friend. So definitely check out Thomas Valenti's work. So yeah, and I know when me and Tom used to exhibit together a lot, we would do. I wasn't doing pastels. I was doing pastels, but I wasn't doing airbrush just yet. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, Tom. And so I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. You're hunkered down over there in your part of Jersey. Another fellow Jerseyite, Jersey guy. What do we call ourselves anyway, us guys from Jersey? And let's see. So it's nice, you know. It's so great that we get a lot of really cool people visiting our group. So I love that, you know. Gerald Mendez, Ken from Badger. We had Kent Lind, and now we have Tom. So, you know, we might be a small group. We might not have like, you know, 70, 80, 90 people at a time in our live streams, but we have the right people. And that's what makes it, yes, originally from the South Bronx. That is true. So, Brad, what was your question? Oh, Thomas had a question for me. So, Thomas, what was your question, sir? Oh, great. Let's hear your question, Tom. I know it's going to be a good one. So, let's see. Now, what we could do is we can go ahead and work on her teeth a little bit. What's great is that it just smooths out her teeth just a little bit. Give her that teeth texture, tooth texture. And that's a different kind of tooth, right? Where does the whole thing begin, the drawing, you know? From the very beginning of this. Now, basically just a quick line drawing, and then from there we just go ahead and develop the drawing a little more, and then we start going from very light to very dark, and it could be a number of different ways. We can do a projection, use a digital projector, project the line drawing first, and then we could go ahead and refine that, Tom, and then we just work from very light to dark, a lot like you would with your watercolors. You work from light to dark, and that's how this technique is, just working from light and ever so gradually working to dark. So staying in the midtones in the beginning and the middle, and then going into the more darker tones, and then the darkest darks, and then coming in with the lights with the white pastel. So great question, Tom. I really appreciate that. And so now we're working with her teeth here. So now what we can do is see if we could do some highlights in her teeth here. We'll just see how it goes. And let's see if I could calm that down. Several ways. I could calm it down with the white pastel, or I mean with the pastel, or I can use the eraser. You want to be very subtle when it comes to the lights in her teeth. Very, very subtle. Yes, when it comes to anything goes to the point where you still feel that you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. One of the things is I don't like when they would use like a Xerox and then cut it out. That for me goes what I want to accomplish. So I like the part of having either a drawing that I do totally freehand, or project the major shapes and then go in and fix it up, you know. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Little by little we'll get there, you know. And just as you can see, just trying to get her teeth texture, you know. You want to feel that moisture, you know, like you could kiss her, you know. And that's basically, you know, what I'm trying to do. And now there isn't any moisture in her tongue, on her tongue, but I want to go ahead and you know, maybe ad-lib a little bit. It's okay to ad-lib to create something that's not there, that will reinforce. My guest says, I have a hard time following Tim's drawing lines. I can't keep track of his way of laying the image out. I understand that. Sorasit says, almost done. You're getting close, right? Next one, we're going to finish it up. She's going to be done. That's cool. So Thomas says, come a long way from the glyphs, which were also spectacular. Thank you. Yes. One of the things that really helped me, Tom, and I really recommend for those of us out there, is just spending time working in black and white for a long time. 6 months, a couple of months, just working in black and white. Just getting all those things down, the values, the lines, the edges. That has really made the biggest difference for my advancement in technique, and just seeing, Tom, which has really helped. So I highly recommend that. So I really appreciate that wonderful compliment. Thank you, sir, coming from you. Steve Johnson says, it all starts with a sharp pencil. That's what I'm talking about. 0.5. Look at that bad boy. So definitely. And it always begins with a pencil, you know. And yes, the most important, that's how we start, right? We started out with the pencil, you know, and I think we're always going to work in pencil. You know, if the lights go out, or you know, you're out and you're over something, you're always going to have a pencil and a piece of paper. You're always going to be able to have a pencil and a piece of paper. So that's always going to be our first. So Bill says it usually starts with spilling something. And Sorasit says, I drew the values in first before fixing the drawings. Exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to get those values on the money, right? And you want to get those edges perfect. You want to make sure that you're not ignoring those edges. So important. Okay, so now we're coming in with the white, guys. We're going to see these shapes, right? These shapes in the forehead. Now I can reinforce with my light mixture that I have in here, and I can just go ahead and get these shapes a little more concise. See that in her forehead? It's like things are really starting to come together. You know, there are times when I'm doing my live streams and I know people are saying, Tim, when are you going to get this thing taken care of? You know, it looks like it's not coming together, but at the end it just sort of falls into place. And that's what you want your work. You want your work to fall into place. You don't want to do an eye, a nose, an eye, the mouth, and just bring everything like you see on YouTube too often. You want to do the ensemble. That's what Angela says. Now Tom says, to do the drawing, one could use the grid method or a proportional divider. Exactly. And those are great too. And those are fantastic, and those are ancient methods. The camera lucida, that has been used by artists. Concave mirrors, all these other different things that really help. Optics are so important, and that's one thing. I just saw documentary on optics, which is really fantastic on YouTube of how all the artists used them. So Bill says he should use this time to point out there are 11 people in here and only 7 likes. Bummer. Okay, let's get some likes out there, guys. Hit the like button. And I appreciate that, Bill. So smash that like button for me. Thank you. Oh, so guys, so let's take this opportunity to congratulate Bill, W. Leon Artistry, for 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to him, go ahead and subscribe. How cool is that? 1,000 subscribers. You know, how big a deal that is. I can't really express how big a deal that is, because to get like 2 subscribers, 10 subscribers is hard, but to stick with it and get 1,000 is really, really rough. So way to go, Bill. So that's fantastic. Sora says, not a fan of grid method. He draws intuitively by trusting his instincts. Even better. That's the best way to do it, Sora said. And so, very cool. So right now I'm coming back in with my medium mixture, my light mixture. And I'm just going to really get in there and start describing some of the forms now that the light mixture is in there. So this is very much the fun time, because we are really making important decisions in the end of the painting, which is really great. Now remember how important that is with the airbrush as you get better. Everyone can be a master in the airbrush. It's not a talent. Airbrush is definitely, the talent is how you see, how you paint the figure and the forms. But as far as airbrush, it's time. So you see, I can actually use my aim and I can get exactly any spot I want. That comes from time. Just like if you were at work and you're using a cash register, eventually you're going to get really good at that cash register. Exactly, it's a tool. Let's see. Oh yes, that's cool. So everyone subscribed to Mr. Bill. Yes, Bill and I do paint differently, but we are on the same path, right? We have different approaches to the same place, I feel. But definitely Bill's channel, you know, go check it out, because it might be elements that I don't give. So I definitely have no problem promoting his channel and watching him grow and be successful. No rules, just tools. I like that. Gotta go. Have a great night, everyone. Hey, Willie, have a great night. Always great to see you, my friend. We are going to have a special Patreon video coming up this week for our Patreon members. Thank you so much. And Bill says, actually, I used to paint a lot more transparently, and now he's painting more opaque. But if I'm wanting to get things done, I go back to transparent. And Mike S says, Tim and I painted totally different over the winter. He painted and I watched. His basement way cold. Oh, I see. So basically, Mike was watching a lot because his basement was very cold. Thank you so much, Willie, for that wonderful comment. This is the only channel I come hang out. Thank you. That's an honor. That really is. So that is a real honor. We have really great people, including Bill and Willie and everyone. And so we are losing Steve. Have a great night. Continue doing those wonderful dogs, the wonderful paintings of dogs. If you haven't, check out Steve's Facebook channel. And he has a Facebook art site too. So definitely check out that, and you'll really love it. So that's so cool. And I really appreciate the wonderful comment on the live stream. We're doing the best we can. I have a great group of people, so that makes things really fantastic. We are in the last 10 minutes. Remember, I always give you the full 30 minutes. So I don't skimp when it comes to that with you guys. You guys are so important to me. So let's go ahead and we'll just continue moving around. So next week's going to be the final part 6 of this video. So don't miss it, and hit that like button and all that good stuff. So right now I'm going to smooth out her arm there. And now we have some overspray, and the overspray, yeah, Steve is a great artist, definitely, and love Steve's stuff. And so what we're doing right now is we're just coming in and lightening that value. We're paying attention, you know, we are not just putting in the white, but really paying attention and put the white where it's needed. That's so important. And no rules, only sin, source, it says. But we have to have principles, right? That's I feel. And the principles can vary from one artist's approach to another. You know, you guys know I have my Timisms, and that's very important. And I feel like my principles are just different tools and tips that really help when you know, you run into trouble or even circumvent troubles before they happen. So this has been a really fun live stream, I think, and you know, like I say, I used to care about numbers. I don't really care anymore. And take care, Steve, my friend. And we are getting close to lightening this arm, her beautiful arm. And so you see, now she's getting a real look, almost as if this was, you know, like almost an oil painting in the sense. Getting a really rich feeling of values and edges, and that's something I really like, a variety of edges. Timism stinks on ice. That's one of them, yes. I do say that sometimes. Oh, Sorsit, thank you so much. It's always great to see you, my friend. And I hope to see you soon. Stay safe, okay, out there? So we're getting close to the end of today's live stream. I just want to really thank you guys. You guys kick butt. And as you see right now, I'm just moving around. I'm not staying in one area. Just like moving and grooving. This is basically my ADD, but it really works well with my technique of moving around and not staying in one area. Light tables are fantastic. I think it's really, really great. So definitely, that's a. But I honestly think the digital projector for just getting your work on your surface and going in there. To be more prolific, to do more work. I think it's more important to do more pieces. The more pieces you do, the more you learn. I also think it's important to draw freehand on the side and, you know, do your drawings, and it all comes in. So Thomas says he's never done this before. Come to the live stream? Yeah, it's the first time I've seen you here. So what an honor, Tom. So I'm so glad you're here. And Sorensen says, I can't go out anyway. Police cars are patrolling the streets. Okay, then definitely stay home. That's for sure. And so get a chance. Just have fun. Enjoy your family. And the Venkio 630. That's really cool. And so definitely, Tom, I want you to hang out here more, because this is a great group, and this is a great way for people to see what a great guy you are. And I already know what a great guy you are, so I think it would be cool. So Wednesday nights, you know, thank you. So Todd says, nice work. I appreciate it. Always good to see Todd. The Venkio 630 projector is the one that Brad has, and he loves it. And it's affordable, right? It's not like $600 or something crazy like that. And Mr. Brad lives in the Manitoba County. Is that Manitoba province? No, forgive me for my lack of, but Manitoba is the Manitoba. Like, where is that? That's not your city. That's your province. Is that correct? Thank you so much, Brad. And we're trying. Yes, Manitoba. That's pretty cool. So Brad works some great, does some really fantastic woodworking, and he's a very talented artist. So definitely check him out. In the middle, Brad said where he lives is right in the middle of Canada. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just, see how I put down the white there? And that's a little too white with the pastel. Uh-oh, what do I do now? Do I erase it? No, you can actually take your kneaded eraser and you can tap it slowly and bring it into the value that you want. So isn't that great, guys? So you have control. And I have an impression 1400. So here Todd has an impression 1400, and you like that? That's a good one, my friend? Digital projectors have come a long way, guys. Really have. They're just fantastic. There's some great new tools for artists, which I love. So right now what I'm doing is I'm doing the values inside the values here. It's not just one value shape, but there's things going on with that value. Now, why is there things going on within the value? Because in the human body, there aren't just hard, flat shapes. There's bone, and there's skin, and there's muscle, and there's fat. And so that's why it's totally irregular. And that's why you're going to see shapes, value shapes inside values, because of things moving and going in and out. And pricey but good, so that's cool. And Wendy is a very talented artist. I love her stuff. And she's very humble. She did a great eye in a live stream. So this Saturday night, we're doing another live stream, The Proportions of the Human Head. That's going to be on Facebook and on YouTube. So that's something to look forward to, guys, definitely. So look at this, it's 11:28. That means we are so close to the end of this live stream. Bill says in his body there's no, there's not. There's muscle. There's iron and all that other good stuff there, Bill. I keep telling myself that about my body. I haven't been able to get to the gym lately. Hopefully when things calm down, I'll be able to get to the gym, pump iron, and get the body that I want. So that's a bit of a, it's just a little, it's not a bad problem, but, it's not a big problem, but I want to get back to the gym. I need to get back to the gym. Todd, have a great night, And Tone, thank you so much. You have a good night, and it's good to talk to you. Always great to have you. And you always bring so much life to the live streams, and all my regulars. I'm just so happy with you guys and just love you so much, and always look forward to my peeps, my ink flingers. So pretty soon we're going to be going into color, going back to black and white, keep things honest, and so let's end this with a accent. Let's see. Bam. Look at that. Pow! Just like that. And now what I can do is I can darken around that highlight and just really bring that out. Look at that. So beautiful. And it looks like it's almost 11:30, but let's see if we can just do a highlight on her tooth there. So cute. Such a cute painting, just a cute lady I get to paint. There we go. And it is 11:30, so that means, guys, have a great night. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead on Saturday night at Saturday night at 9 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook. We will do a drawing, just a pencil, piece of paper, that's all you need, and you'll be able to go ahead and follow along, and we'll do the proportions of the human head and what makes the human head look like a human head. So that's going to be very exciting. Have a great week, guys. Thank you so much, and stay safe, okay? You guys are important to me, guys and girls. Take care of yourselves.